Hey everybody, Steve Prziborowski here. Welcome to episode 23 of What is Your Why? And that's correct. What is your why? Start off with my two websites, code3firetrain.com as well as chabotfire.com. Both have lots of great free information on there to help you be the best you can be. So please take the time and effort and hopefully learn at least one new thing from each. These webinars are based on two of the three books I've had published, the Future Firefighter's Preparation Guide, as well as Reach for the Firefighter Badge. Two books, distinctly different, but complementary, and also both available off my previously mentioned websites there. So, it's simple. Do you know your why? And I can almost sense some of you are going, huh? I mean, you probably know your why, but you maybe haven't thought of it in this form or fashion. You know, doing a quick little internet search about sort of a definition of why, I came across this on Forbes.com, and actually I think it was a good little short, sweet definition. 4 questions to find your purpose, which is your why. Number 1, what makes you come alive? Where's your passion? Where's your energy? You know, what makes you just get up every day and go? Number 2, what are your innate strengths? We all have strengths, as we all know, and we also unfortunately have weaknesses, but right now, what are your innate strengths? Where do you add the greatest value? And then lastly, how will you measure your life? Author was Margie Worrell, like I said, in Forbes.com. But really, if you wonder about, do you know your why? This is a good starting point. So my why, just to help share my why. You're not me, I'm not you, but I'll share where I sort of come from. And the reason I'm doing this is because before you even start to answer oral board questions, you need to have an understanding of what your why is, because I shared earlier in previous webinars, you got to know yourself inside and out before you answer any question. You know, your values, your strengths, your weaknesses, where you want to be, where you want to go, what you want to do, what makes you be the person you are, you know, how you prepared yourself, blah, blah, blah. But your why, having an understanding of that, is going to help you focus. If you haven't heard of TED Talks are sort of like 18 to 20 minute short snippets from different speakers. I encourage you to Google Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek is his name. First name is Simon, S-I-M-O-N. Last name Sinek, S-I-N-E-K. He does a short little TED Talk, as it's called, on what's your why. And it's a very powerful statement. I think that'll help support the previously mentioned article I talked about on Forbes.com on the previous slide. But Simon Sinek, what's your why? I encourage you to check that out, because again, if you can have that down when you go to an oral board, or when you're talking to firefighters at the firehouse, or when you're talking to the fire chief during the interview process, or you're just living your life in general, it's going to make you, I think, stand out in a more positive way. So people ask, what's my why? Well, in short, it's a few things, you know, family, friends, fire departments. You know, I have a very strong passion, obviously, for baseball. I love heavy metal music, hard rock music. I love traveling. And I say that not because it's one or the other. Obviously, it's always family first, but, you know, my why helps keep me going. And it also, in today's stressful world that we live in, especially working in the public safety industry, you got to have a health, wellness, excuse me, health, what do they say, life, God, drawing a blank, work-life balance. You got to have a good work-life balance. I mean, it's not all work. It's not all play either. So there's a balance there. But to me, you know, I enjoy going to baseball games, professional sporting events. I love playing baseball as well too. I'm not that good, but I enjoy doing that. I love obviously working for the fire department, all the great things I've been able to do over the years, not just with the department, but because of the department. You know, I enjoy obviously hanging out with friends when possible. And obviously bottom right corner, I love, you know, hard rock music. I love going to concerts. I love I mean, I wish I could probably play guitar too. That would be like the best of the best. But again, find your why, because I think it'll help you focus in the future. I mean, again, it's not all about one thing. Obviously, family should come first. But again, let's have a great work-life balance. I love sharing this little video clip sometimes. And I talk about, when I teach leadership classes, I obviously get more in depth in this subject, but I try to get people to start at the basics and really know themselves inside and out. So as I share with others, here's a little video clip from a TV channel. this is hopefully me at 80 years old. Number one, if I'm still 80 years old, it means I'm still alive, knock on wood, and hopefully functioning to be able to drive like this elderly gentleman, but just living life. But just watch this short little clip.
Everyone at one time or another has been caught doing something silly or being in a zone while you're driving, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to this older gentleman. Take a look. He is jamming out. You cannot deny he has got love for Metallica. Fans seem actually they were driving past him and they seem to be wanting to rock out with him. They stopped out, pulled out their phones to get some video of it. So far, more than 500,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah,
rock on.
Heart. Love his style.
Hopefully he's not having a seizure, but that's hopefully me at 80, meaning I'm still enjoying life. I'm still able to function. Hopefully still going to concerts if there's any rock bands still alive at that age, who knows? But again, my passion. And again, it's not all about that, but we got to find our why, because that'll help us hopefully be better leaders. And yes, all ranks of us can be leaders, from the newest firefighter up to the fire chief. We all have the ability to lead regardless of rank. But you got to start out with your passion. That's one of my whys. My next why is this. This was taken at a neighboring fire department by a friend of mine who's a retired captain. He took this picture, posted on social media. He came into the work that day at the firehouse and saw this toilet paper roll. Now, anyone that's been in the fire service for any length of time has seen stuff like this. And here's the thing, when I was a firefighter and I saw something like that, I'd probably roll my eyes and say, oh, geez, just, that's whatever, B shift, C shift, A shift, whatever. Lazy slackers, and left it at that. But here's something to think about. It's not all fun and games. As a firefighter, you're laughing. As a company officer or a chief officer, you should be crapping in your pants, because it's easy to say that's just, someone just having fun with another shift or messing with somebody else. Now, if they were messing with you, they wouldn't leave any toilet paper. But that to me is simply put complacency and laziness. And I know a lot of people may say, what's the big deal? Yeah, so it's just a toilet paper roll, Steve. It's not life and death. Well, is it not life and death? And when I say, is it not, my thought process, I tend to think big picture, or I try to think big picture, is if that's how someone's handling the toilet paper, how is it when they're doing their rig checks in the morning? Are they actually checking out their SCBA unit? Are they actually checking out their PPE? Are they checking out their engine? Are they checking out their truck, their medical gear if they're the paramedic on duty? I don't know. If they're half-assing toilet paper, there's probably a great chance that they're also half-assing the other stuff they're doing that is a necessity for us to perform our job when the bell goes off. So don't just laugh at that stuff. We need to get to the root problem of what's going on here. Yeah, maybe laziness and complacency, but you as a firefighter, if this is, say, your engineer or your captain doing this, you should be scared, because they're probably cutting corners in some other capacity. So my why is obviously trying to encourage others to be the best they can be, not tolerate, not accept this stuff, obviously have a sense of humor, but also look at the big picture and realize, we may have deeper issues than this. This is probably a symptom of something else. Another one of my whys. This was posted on social media by a friend of mine, Ben Martin, who runs EmbraceTheResistance.com, and he posted this via another friend of mine, Mike Agliano, retired Seattle Fire Department captain. But the point here is this. Look at that first sentence. My enemy is not other firefighters. Let's start out with that. We live in a very divisive world. And I know it's so easy to blame politics on divisiveness or the division that's going on. Republican versus Democrat versus Tea Party versus whatever. I can't even keep up with all the different, and that's fine. I mean, everyone's entitled to their differences. In all honesty, this divisiveness has been around for years, for as long as I can remember. So these guys hit the nail on the head here. I know it's very easy to jump on the divisiveness bandwagon, pro-Trump, anti-Trump, pro whoever, anti-whoever. It's filtering down into the firehouses, but this sums it all up. My enemy is fire, not the other firefighters, not your brothers and sisters, not the other platoons, which are shifts of groups of folks like A, B, C, and D shift. It's a shift is in the fire service, for those who don't know, is typically a 12-hour, 24-hour shift of firefighters, a group of firefighters. It's not the other firehouse down the street. It's not your leadership, your fire chief, your assistant chiefs, your deputy chiefs. It's not your bosses. It's not the fire district you're going to run mutual aid with, meaning your neighboring departments. It's not the citizens. That's not the enemy. The enemy is the stuff that's trying to kill us. My enemy is fire. Are you with me? And it is so true. Now, fires make up usually 5% or less of our call volume across the country, so we don't fight that much fire, most of us, but we still fight fire. And when we do, it can kill us. You know, buildings are put together not to keep firefighters safe. If you think about it, buildings are built with roofs and the walls and everything else basically for shelter. They're not meant to be affected by fire. So our challenge is making sure that we're staying up to date on our building construction, staying up to date on fire behavior, staying up to date on what's killing and injuring firefighters versus bickering with each other. But sadly, you look in the fire service, go on social media, go on the internet, and you see there's even the infighting within the fire service industry. Oh, smoothbore nozzles are the best. And then, of course, smoothbore nozzles suck. Fog nozzles are the best. Fog nozzles suck. Those are examples, fog nozzle versus smoothbore. And here, my analogy is this. There is no one right tool for everything that we do. They're all tools. Sometimes the smoothbore nozzle may be appropriate. Sometimes the fog nozzle may be appropriate. Just for anyone that's been through EMT training, you learn that when you give oxygen to people, there's different ways to provide the oxygen. One way may be a non-rebreather mask, 15 liters of oxygen per minute. But not everyone needs a non-rebreather mask. Some need the bag valve mask, where we're providing supplemental oxygen and bagging in the oxygen. Some people just need a nasal cannula with 2 to 6 liters going through it per minute. Some don't need any oxygen. So the point is, on our fire engines, our trucks, our rescues, we usually have different tools to get the job done. And if we're infighting with each other, we're ultimately not serving the customers that are paying for us to be here. And yes, even if we're not a career department or volunteer, the customers are still paying for the volunteers to be there. They're paying for the firehouse, the fire engines, the trucks. They may not have to pay for any salaries because you're volunteer, but they're still paying. So we are here to serve the customers, and we need to get over the us versus them stuff. We need to be in it for the right reasons, and that's taking care of those that we serve. So with that, taking the time to determine and more importantly, be able to articulate your why will help you better answer oral board questions from your heart and your soul, ultimately showing the true you. So like I said earlier, check that Simon Sinek, What's Your Why? It's only like 18 minutes long. That TED Talk will help you better understand, I'm hoping, yourself. So the next time you go in front of that oral board, that fire chief, whoever, you're able to really come from the heart of, here is my why. This is what wakes me up every morning and gets me going. Think about it that way. If nothing else, it's the right thing to do. So with that, as always, everybody, wait, before I get to that slide, more importantly though, than the oral interview though, live and practice your why daily so you can go to sleep every night knowing that you're doing the right things for the right reasons, which I pretty much said, but just to reinforce that. So as always, thank you very much for the gift of your time. My contact information, social media footprint as well. Feel free to reach out if I can ever be of assistance. So as always, until next time, thank you very much. Be safe, take care, and be well, everybody.